Small business owners and getting organized, the first thing you got to have is a capture system. What is your capture system? That's what we're going to talk about today in episode 478 of our 333. Happy Tuesday, September the 6th, 2022. Small business owners, we're talking about being productive this week. This is part 2. And today we're going to talk about all the inputs, the captures that you have that we try to put in our brain. We got to store it somewhere. We got to have a way of doing that. We're going to talk about systems, fewer buckets, and empty them regularly. Now, to explain the system, being productive is about getting good systems, and we want to have a system of inputs. We're going to talk about inputs. So let me give you an analogy that's unrelated to business. You probably have some method, some system of doing your laundry, right? Now, input could be when you take off your clothes, but you don't just leave them everywhere. At least I hope you don't in your house. You probably have a clothes hamper. You've probably trained your family to take all of their dirty clothes, wherever they may capture them, and to put them into the hamper, which is a bucket. And maybe if you're like me, I have 2 buckets. I have one for whites and one for colors. And then I empty that regularly into the wash machine, and that's how we have clean laundry. That is an entire capture system, which is what we're talking about today. So let's break that down into business. Business tip number 1, you have to have some sort of input systems, and as few of them as possible. Maybe it's email. Maybe it's voicemails, right? Maybe it is texting. Maybe it is notes that you take when you meet a client. You got to have those input systems, and then you've got to put them into some sort of bucket. In this case, it's the hamper. We're going to call that business tip number 2, bucket system. You want to have as few of them as necessary, but a tool that you're using. In the old days, in the old 80s and 90s, I used to have these journals. I'm still old school. I still do it, write things down. That's how our parents did it. Today we have tools like Trello and Airtable, some sort of accounting system, some sort of system. You need to put that into a system of buckets where it is coming out of your head, coming out of all these slips of paper, coming out of all these notes, these voicemails, and everything else into this bucket system. And then you need to process those systems. And of course, you want to use them as few as possible. The other most important tip, business tip number 3, is you got to have some system of processing. You got to empty them regularly. Doesn't make any sense to file emails into certain folders if you're never going to empty them out. You may get your email down to 0 if this is incoming sales, incoming whatnots, but you got to put those in buckets, use them, and then empty them on a regular basis. This is all part of getting organized and being productive. We have to organize the way we capture information. That's what I'm learning today. Anything I learn, I throw over the fence to you because I want you guys to be awesome. Now go back to sleep.